What's up, y'all? Just got finished working out. A lot of y'all asked me, you said, Sean, what's up, man? How you doing, man? I'm all right. You asked me, you said, Sean, where does your confidence come from? Right? Where does your self-belief come from? Where does your confidence come from? And you may look at me now and think that I was always this way. And I wasn't. There was a time in my life. How you doing? Can I get a cup of coffee, please? Thank you. And then can I get just a cup of coffee, bro? There was a time in my life when I was a very insecure, fearful, shaky, fractured person. There was a time, 100%. 100%. Thank you. How you doing today?
Good.
What's your name? Delia? Thank you, Delia. Delia, you have any honey? Can I have some honey, please? Thank you. I suffered from low self-esteem. I suffered self-hatred. I suffered self-rejection. And I wasn't confident. And when I was in that frame of mind, self-hatred, self-loathing, self-rejection, low self-esteem, I'm going to talk about me, but I think this is pervasive and applicable to every human. When you feel that way about yourself, you become a liar. Not necessarily verbally. The verbal lies that you tell are secondary to the liar that you become because you try to become something that you're not because you don't like who you really are. It's inevitable. So you begin to people please. You begin to seek the approval of other people. You begin to become a chameleon. You begin to be a get-wit nitwit. Whatever everybody else is getting with, you get with it because everybody else is getting with it, even if you don't want to do it. You begin to say yes when you want to say no. You smile when you want to frown. You laugh at jokes that's not funny. You go to places that you really don't want to go. You're afraid to be who you really are. And that's a liar. You are effectively, to your core, to your soul, a liar. And I was that. I was that.
But even every time you step away, they turn the rap at a 70, and then you.
And once I was in that paradigm of being a liar and living the life of a lie and a liar, then I began to speak lies. I spoke lies for acceptance. Thank you, Della. I don't want no food. I'm just gonna drink some coffee. That's it. I began to speak lies, say things in order to win your approval, say things in order to win your acceptance, not say things that I thought maybe you didn't want to hear that would push you to reject me. Just began to lie about any and everything. This is a true story. This is a true story. And that was a life that I lived. That was a life of pain, man. That's a life of pain. Mental anguish, anxiety, falsehood, fake. And the results of my life reflected same. The results of my life reflected same. And it was a very painful existence. And I think this is, matter of fact, I'm convinced that this attitude of mind that I had, this self-perception I had of myself, drove me toward alcoholism and drug addiction. Y'all know that I used to use drugs from 1981 to 1990 for like 9 years straight. Started at the age of 12, smoking weed at the age of 12. I got clean in 1990 at the age of 21. I've been clean 34 years so far. October will be 35 years. I don't drink, I don't smoke weed, I don't use no drugs at all. And I'm certain that I was using these drugs in order to lessen the acuteness of the psychological pain that I felt from my self-hatred and my low self-esteem and my fractured personality and my insecurity and my wanting to be liked and my wanting and my need to be accepted by people, my need to get approval from people. And I'd lived like this, man, well into my 40s. This is a true story, man. Some people go their whole life and live like this their whole life, never really being who they truly are. But what was the catalyst, man, that transformed me to who you see now as a supremely confident man? And my confidence is real, like my arrogance and my conceit and my braggadocious attitude. This is real, this is authentic. I am truly this. Is because, you know, a traumatic experience, man, a very, very painful experience burned all of the bullshit out of me, right? The way you purify gold, raw gold that you pull out of the ground, is you take it and you put it in a dross, D-R-O-S-S. It's like a furnace, an oven. And you take that raw gold and you put that shit in that dross, that furnace, and it burns out all of the impurities in the gold and turns it into pure gold. And this traumatic experience I liken to the oven or the dross in my life. And it was when I caught my Fed case and everything that went with it. When I lost the $1.2 million, when I lost the 9 rental properties and custody of little Sean, and just crashed and burned. That experience was so traumatic. It pushed me to the point to where I could have either went all the way crazy, right? Just lost my mind entirely, or push me to what you see now. And from that experience, it burnt out all of the bullshit that was in me, man. And it was revealed to me. My life revealed to me, my circumstance, that circumstance revealed to me, intimately to me, that I needed me. That I needed me more than anybody. That I didn't need nobody else. Because all my life, I thought I needed this person. I thought I needed that person. That situation revealed to me that I needed me. Because mostly everybody had dipped or lost faith in me. Right? And it was the one time, man, where I had to dig deep and be there for me, man. And I knew what was wrong while I was going through it. I knew what was wrong. And I did the work, man. You know, so it was my greatest pain. My greatest pain, because this was a traumatic, painful experience. My greatest pain was the impetus, was the catalyst, man, to catapult me to superior confidence, right? And it's similar to the Kabbalion. Those of y'all that read the Kabbalion, the principle of polarity. You have this pole, and on the opposite end of the two poles, there are millions of degrees in between, million levels of degrees, right? Between no confidence and self-confidence, right? Or no confidence and supreme confidence. So low self-esteem and high self-esteem, or low self-perception and high self-perception. Hot, cold, good, bad, and in between there's millions of degrees. And the only way you could get to hot, let's assume this is hot and this is cold, the only way that you can get to red fire hot is you have to have started at extreme bitter cold, right? And you travel along this pole and you experience the different degrees, man, until you arrive at the opposite end of the spectrum. And in my case, it was because when I was going through my fair case, man, my self-hatred got so bad, man. I was so disgusted with me, man. I was so ashamed and humiliated, man, of what I had did, man. And I just really hated myself, man. And I was at the lowest pole. I was at the pole, that low pole. And now when y'all see me now, I'm over here. But it wasn't overnight. I went to prison in 2014. This is 2025, so we're talking about 11 years. You know, I traversed and traveled along the pole from the low self-esteem to the high self-esteem to the low self-confidence to the supreme confidence. You know, and that's what it takes, man. You know, and authenticity is the highest vibration in the universe. Stronger than love, stronger than hate, stronger than fear. Authenticity is the highest vibration in the universe. Right? And when you're authentic and when you're true, you are as close to God as you can possibly be. There is no closer relationship with God than when you're authentic. And that's why I live the way that I live and say what I say, because it empowers me. The more authentic I am, the more real I am, the more empowered I become. For everybody on Instagram that's watching this on Instagram, if I go over the 15-minute mark, the rest of the full video is going to be on my YouTube channel, The Podcast with Soul. The more authentic I am, the more truthful that I am, the more authentic I am, the more raw I am, the more honest I am, the more empowered I become, the more powerful I become, the more stronger I become, my strength increases 11-fold. That's been my experience with honesty and truth and authenticity. And conversely, on the flip side of that coin, the more fake you are, the weaker you become. you become disemboweled, you become hollow, you become shallow. The more lies you tell, the faker you become, the weaker you become, the more fatigued you feel. Because it's harder living with lies than it is with truth. And that's where I got my confidence from, man. That's where I got my confidence from. I don't feel like there's nothing in this world I can't do. I don't feel that way. I've never felt that way. I've always been a competitive person. I've always wanted to win. I hate to lose. I have always felt that anything any other man can do, so can I. And I can probably do it better than him. I've always felt that way. And even now, I feel that way even more ardently, right? I mean, look at, you know, y'all watch me. Y'all see, you look at my skin, you look at how I look, you look at the shit I do, you look at my body, my physique, you listen to my mind. I exhibit all of the qualities of a youthful human being, man, of a youthful man. And a lot of that has to deal with my confidence in my thinking, man. You know, I'm not burdened and weighed down by debilitating thoughts, man, and thoughts of doubt, thoughts of self-doubt. I have them. They come, but they don't persist very long. Self-doubt and worry and anxiety and being anxious used to reside in my days for hours at a time, sometimes the whole day. Now they're like fleeting things that come and they go because I don't allow them to stay. You know, when I really got true knowledge of myself, and I ain't talking about on no 5% tip, no nation of gods and earth tip. I ain't talking about that shit. I studied that too, but that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the true knowledge of self is when you know you've examined yourself to the core and you know what you're afraid of and what you're not afraid of, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what makes you cry, what makes you laugh, what irritates you, what you love, what you enjoy, what you hate. Knowing how your body responds to certain foods. I mean, really like knowing yourself. True knowledge of self. Not from no religious perspective, none of that nonsense. When I achieved that, my eyes is itching, man. The allergies is bad here in North Jersey. When I achieved that, I became like a superhero. When I got true knowledge of self, of who I was, it catapulted me to levels and heights that I had never seen before, that I didn't even know. I was able to do things I didn't even think I could do, and I did them, right? And, you know, none of this has to do with, you haven't heard me once in this video speak on my economic situation or my bank account. What I'm telling you has nothing to do with currency, man-made currency. Everything I'm speaking on has to do with spiritual, mental, and physical currency, right? Your soul currency, the very constitution of who I am. Because with this, nothing is impossible, right? And I don't need to add on anything to me to make me feel better than how I already feel. I'm already dope. I'm already fly. I'm already dope. I'm already money. As I am. My confidence brings me peace of mind. My confidence brings me bravery and courage to do things, to take risks that people that don't have confidence and bravery are afraid to take. My confidence brings me good sleep. Everything. It brings me good conversation with myself. It brings me peace and the ability to hang out with me in solitude, alone. Just because I'm alone, that don't mean I'm lonely. Being alone and being lonely are two entirely different things, two entirely different words, two entirely different meanings, two entirely different states of life, two entirely different states of existence. A lot of times I just choose to be alone because I find peace there. A man, your life is gonna live. Your life is gonna, the clock is gonna tick until your last tick, and then you out of here. Same with me. But your life is gonna tick. It's gonna move, whether you want it to or not. And you could have two lives in the present moment. You can live your life without confidence, and that will be your life, and all of the accoutrements and all of the circumstances and bells and whistles that come with that will be yours. Conversely, on the flip side of that coin, with your own choice, you could choose to have a life of confidence. And all the bells and whistles and all of the superlatives and all of the benefits that come from that will be yours. And the choice is yours. I think I've been teaching Little Sean confidence. I've been teaching Little Sean confidence since he was, when I came home from the feds in 2016. I got out January 2016. And it was in there, it was in federal prison where I went through my transmutation and my transformation, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I came home and I started downloading everything that I found out about myself into him. And I've been teaching him about self-confidence and self-esteem since he was 5. And that's why when you see him on the screen with me and you see me and him together, his chest is up, his chin is up, his back is straight. You never see him with his chin on his chest. He's a human being. He goes through his moments, as I do. Sometimes I still get depressed or angry or whatever, sad, but not for too long. I know how to bring myself up out of it because I got knowledge of myself. But you look at him, you can see it. Everything in me has rubbed off on him. Everything in me has rubbed off on him. I've been teaching him this since he was 5. And I believe that teaching my son self-confidence and self-esteem and a high self-perception and bravery and courage is way more important than any science that he can learn in the 8th grade, any social studies that he can learn in the 8th grade, any art class he can learn in the 8th grade, any math class he can learn in the 8th grade, any reading or writing class he can learn, any subject that he's learning in school is subordinate to self-confidence, my opinion. Because, like I did, I was a good student. I learned math, reading, writing, social studies, comprehension, science, but I lacked self-esteem. I had all of that, but I lacked confidence. So I couldn't apply nothing that I didn't believe in me. But with self-confidence and self-belief, you can acquire all those other subjects, math, reading, writing, and then you can do something with them extraordinary. I was listening to Reverend Ike on YouTube, and Reverend Ike said that a man with self-belief is God in action. When you believe in yourself, you become God in action. That's right. I believe that. I'm not real big on the parables and the metaphors and folklore and all these stories about who this one is and who that one is and this one. I don't, I think all of that stuff is means of control, right? But when you have confidence and when you're authentic, remember I said that authenticity is the closest, the highest vibration in the universe and the closest to the thing of God. And when you believe in your abilities, it's God in action. That's what Reverend Ike said. Look at that, man. Look at the times when you believe in yourself and you're confident, how you feel and what you attempt, what you risk. And then look at the times when you're not confident in yourself and you don't believe in your abilities, what you risk, right? Two entirely different states of mind, two entirely different lives. So I believe I effect my destiny. I create my life. The same ways in my life that I destroyed my life on many occasions as a result of poor choices, poor judgment, poor decision, or just having a low self-esteem or a low self-perception and no bravery and no courage, I would destroy my life. That was on me. And like the same way now, I build my life with my supreme confidence, with my supreme bravery, with my supreme belief in myself. I make my life what I want it to be. That's what I believe. I've always felt that way. I think we've been duped into believing that some other power external to us can give us what we can really give ourselves. We just don't have the courage of belief. And a lot of people, childhood traumas are real. And the messages and images and things you were told as a child are impacting you today, especially if you haven't dealt with them. Especially if you haven't dealt with them. She ain't came and refilled my coffee yet or not, man. What's up with that, man? And I was in federal prison. I went back, man, and I dealt with my childhood traumas, man. I went and I wrote. I used to sit down and write. I had a notebook. I used to just write. And get that up out of me, man. That's a poison. That's a cancer. You have to come to terms. I had to come to terms with me, right? I had to reconcile the parts of my life that I didn't like with myself and come to a level of acceptance with it. I had to come to terms that I couldn't throw my cards in and get dealt a new hand, right? I couldn't, there was no do-over. Like what I got, the cards I gotta play these motherfuckers. And I might as well, you know what I'm saying? Play them the best way I can. Excuse me. Can I get some more coffee, man? I don't know where she went. I think that's over there. Thank you, man. He took it. I could have went up and got it myself. My man, appreciate you, man. Thank you, sir. I had to come to terms with my life. Even the parts I didn't like. Even the things that happened to me that I didn't like. You got to. Because you only get one go around with this thing. Yeah, I'm good. He got me, the dude got me some more coffee. I was looking for you. You wasn't nowhere around. Nah, you way over there. Okay.
Back it up a little bit. Like, I don't know what they're capable of doing. I'm sorry.
And you know what? A lot of the work that I had to do, a lot of the work that I did, I had to do it in solitary, man. In solitude, by myself, with nobody around. Because I really had to dig deep. A lot of the work that I had to do, I was alone, by myself, with my thoughts, with my likes of myself and with my dislikes. And one of the biggest things I had to do, man, was accept and acknowledge and accept that there were some things about me that I didn't like, that I could fix, that needed to be fixed. And I worked on them. Now, is there anything about me that I don't like? I don't think so. I like everything about me, man. Look at how good I look, man. Look at my skin, man. Look at this shit. Look at how I'm 56 years old, man. Look at how my skin is still tight. I still got a youthful vibrance, man. That's because I got a youthful mind. My thoughts are courageous, man. My thoughts are courageous. My thoughts are courageous. I'm a unique individual, man. Not a lot of people like me. We all unique. But I mean, I'm like way different. I look good. I feel good. Everything, man. So that's where my confidence comes from. That was my journey. If you want to work with me, if you want me to work with you and try to help you develop your confidence, book a call with me. The link is up in the bio. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, the link is down there. Get in touch with me some kind of way. Email, text message, DM on Instagram. It's best if you just book the session, because then I get an email right away. Boop, somebody booked the session, and then I email you. If you want to email me your phone number. I'll call you. And we can see what we could do. Takes a lot of work. Gotta be brave, man. Make sure you follow me on Spotify too, man. I need to get my Spotify numbers up so I can get a check from Spotify. The podcast was sold on Spotify. Alright? Alright. I'm finna get out of here. The podcast was sold. Sean G. If you want to do one-on-one mentorship sessions with me, I do that. I do it all, man. You want to work out? You want to look like something? I do that too. You want to book me to come speak? I do that. Whatever. You want to book me to interview me? I do that. Whatever you want to do. I'm open. Peace.